Aliquippa was a thriving steel town until the J&L mill closed in the 1980s. Now, downtown is almost deserted, a Union hamlet that went for Hillary Clinton. But it's nestled in a county won by Trump, and it's the kind of place Biden needs to do well. But it won't be easy.
John, it's good to see you. It's been 4 years.
John Rita's father and two uncles worked at the steel plant, and so did he for a while. He told me in 2016 that he was skeptical of Trump, but this time around, he's leaning toward the president.
I'm leaning towards Trump because, hey, he's got a pulse on everything. I mean, he's rude, he's crude, he's obnoxious, but you know what? Biden, he's just there. He said he's from Scranton, but I don't know.
John credits Trump with improving the economy here, which includes a new plastic plant on the banks of the Ohio River. And he worries the Democrats' drift left could pull Biden along.
He wants to give everybody free hospitalization, free college. Hey, man, nothing's for free.
But Aliquippa's mayor, DeJuan Walker, backs Biden and says many here won't buy the president's populist pitch again.
Mayor, when I was driving through your city 4 years ago, I heard a lot about China. I heard a lot about trade. President Trump convinced many people in that region on that front. Do you believe he could do the same again in 2020?
Listen, there's people sitting in bars right now in Aliquippa hoping the steel mills come back. But to say that you gonna be the one person that bring it back, you set the bar too high for that. You made a promise you could not keep.
The economic drivers in the region are healthcare and energy, including fracking. Both parties claim credit for the new jobs.
Chris, you voted for President Trump in 2016 and plan to do so again in 2020. Why?
What I've seen over the last 3 years has been a tremendous transformation. This is all dilapidated in the late 70s and early 80s, but when you drive by here, hiring, and even with the pandemic.
Elizabeth Parker didn't vote in 2016. She thought Clinton was a shoo-in. This time, the pandemic is top of mind.
I'm a hospice nurse, and I think the saddest part of this pandemic is that it hasn't been controlled and it's been let loose.
Do you blame President Trump?
I blame the rhetoric that is used right now. It's almost cult-like, the way his supporters are acting.
All I know is I took something, whatever the hell it was, I felt good very quickly. I don't know what it was. Antibodies. I don't know. I took it, I said, I felt like Superman.
He says it is what it is. Well, it is what it is because he is who he is.
Next stop, Pittsburgh. Long known for football Steelers and steel, it's been known in recent years as a hub for tech and medical innovation. But on the north side, which I visited in 2016, many were struggling then and now.
I'm going to vote for Joe because I think he's wonderful and honest.
And Black Lives Matter matters here.
Pittsburgh has a problem. You've got policemen who only live in a certain area. How the hell are you going to communicate with people that you say you live in Pittsburgh with, but you don't know their neighborhood?
Well, to me, Trump is, I'm just going to say it, to me, he seems like he's for the rich and famous, and he's racist.
Dr. Benjamin Davies lives in the Squirrel Hill section, right near the Tree of Life Synagogue, where 11 people were murdered in 2018. Some voters here say the president's rhetoric on immigration fueled the violence.
This is an invasion.
It does bring up that issue that people are really more able to express racist propaganda. That day still is just makes me nauseous. And in fact, 3 of my patients passed away. So yeah, I mean, people still walk around with that haze, from that event.
There is no place for hate in America.
Christopher? Oh, yes!
For Regina Donahue, the abortion debate is front and center. A mother of 5 and a Catholic, she was troubled by Trump's character in 2016, but voted for him anyway, and she'll do it again.
I'm a pro-life feminist, and I believe that the Trump administration it believes that America is capable of providing women with the resources that they need to choose life.
Next stop, Somerset County, Trump country.
It is great to be here in Somerset.
Vice President Mike Pence greeted hundreds of people at the Guy Chemical facility in Somerset.
Guy Berkebile is a Trump supporter. He's actually the guy in Guy Chemical and says manufacturers like him are being hurt by China.
These are the unfair trade practices that we've been seeing for years that no one did anything about until President Trump came into office.
Guy, one thing I noticed when I was driving around Pennsylvania in 2016 is sometimes it would take me 2 to 3 to even 4 questions to get a person to reveal their support for then candidate Trump. Do you believe those so-called quiet supporters are there again in Pennsylvania?
Yes, I believe the silent majority is here in Pennsylvania, and we believe in law and order. What a lot of the Trump supporters are afraid of is retaliation, that somebody's going to come up and smack them against the head.
Mike Ream is a 20-year-old evangelical Christian who is voting for Trump.
What about his character, Mike?
Some of the things he says, some of the actions he does in his personal life, I may not condone, but to me, that's not a key issue for a public servant. It's really his actions, not what he says.
But in Western PA, there is also Democratic outrage over the Republican rush to install a new justice on the bench.
What went through your mind when you heard Justice Ginsburg had died?
It was a moment of profound sadness, and then followed quickly by a moment of profound fear. My concern is that any justice that is put through by this administration will be a conservative justice who is not going to interpret the law appropriately, but instead will make sure that the ideals of this administration will be fulfilled.
And we met Everett Seckler, a former school teacher and tree tapper. He makes his own syrup.
Everett, you supported President Trump in 2016. Are you going to support him again?
I certainly am.
Why?
The present-day Democratic Party should be honest with Americans and change their name to the Socialist Party.
Everett, Vice President Biden keeps telling voters he's a pretty down-the-middle Democrat. You don't buy it?
I don't buy it. We know that Bernie Sanders and AOC is going to lead him around by the nose.
He has handed control to the socialists and Marxists and left-wing extremists.
I'm running as a proud Democrat, but I'm going to govern as an American president.
Our final stop out west was to Rick Tellis's soybean farm in Volant. Rick voted for Trump in 2016. He says the trade war with China has hurt soybean farmers. He has not only decided to switch his vote, but went so far as to appear at the Democratic National Convention.
Past experiences, if something doesn't work for you, it's time for a change. And that's why I'm supporting Joe Biden all the way.
I'll tell you, Donald Trump, whenever he campaigned in 2016, he gave us a hell of a sales pitch. He promised us a lot of changes, everything positive, and I see nothing positive come from his administration over the years. So yeah, I mean, to me, Joe Biden's an easy choice.